Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Sales Manager Academy. I'm Omar, and today I just want to talk about helping your team break beliefs when it comes to your commission salespeople, right? So, as y'all know, my background, I've been in wireless retail and retail for, I guess, a better part of almost 20 years now, um, right? In some form, shape, or other. And one of the biggest issues that I still see leaders facing today, and it's hell as old as time, right? When it comes to commission, your people, you in your mind think your people understand their commission plan because they know their commission plan. And you're probably wondering, well, what's the difference if they know it, they understand it? If they understand it, they know it. There's a difference, right? Knowing your pay plan structure means you know what pays what, right? You know, if you do an activation, it pays this. You know, if you do an accessory, it pays this. You know, what type of accessories pay more than others. You know, what kind of attaches, right? We're talking about tablets, activation upgrades, premium devices. You know what pays more than the other, right? You know the structure. When I'm saying understanding the structure, it means they understand how they're actually getting paid. They understand what they need to hit to be able to make a certain commission check. Okay. And you'd be surprised to know that the majority of your people don't understand the pay structure. They know it, they don't understand it. It's still foreign. It hasn't been broken down, made simple in a way that they can pick it up. And part of that is actually on you as a leader. You haven't done what you need to do to ensure that your people actually know what they're doing. And it's a hard pill to swallow because in your mind, you're like, I've drilled it into their head. I've drilled it into their head. Cool. That's like drilling the ABCs and expecting somebody to build sentences and understand grammar just because you taught them the alphabet. They know A is A, they know C is Z, they know B is B, right? They know X is X. But how does that translate into building sentences and building grammatical structures? It doesn't. That's where you have to break it down. And obviously, it's not going to be as complicated as teaching a new language when it comes to commission structure. But it does take a little bit of work and practice to make things easy for people. All right. One of the things I would do is I would actually break it down. I had actually built my own commission calculators. Um, and I would adjust it. Obviously, right, if you're going to do something like that, you have to put in, your disclaimers, like it's an estimate, right, when it comes to, independent of, or excluding any chargebacks, things like that, right? This is an estimate of what you're going to be making or could be making. And I would break it down for them. And then I would go in and have that conversation with them about, all right, this is what we need to do. So, like, I'll give an example. Say you got somebody who's trying to make $45,000 a year, right? Okay, cool. You take their base pay, what they're going to make on an hourly base, right? And obviously, most of the people that we hire, if you're an authorized retailer, if you're a dealer, uh, in those channels, the majority of your people are going to be full time. It's very rare that you're going to find somebody that's going to hire a part timer in that respect. Um, so you go in, you got your full time hours. What you do is you subtract from the 45,000 a year what they're going to be making from their base pay. So if their base pay is say $15 an hour, that's $30,000 a year. So that means they have to make $15,000 in commission every single month. And obviously that's a little over $1,000. And you would break it down. If you have somebody who wants to make $60,000 a year, you do the exact same thing. You take their goal, their base pay, subtract it from each other. The difference is what you're going to be looking at in the commission sense. And the calculator would help have that conversation because people need to visualize what that actually looks like. And then they have to walk through and believe that they can actually attain it. They have to be able to visualize themselves doing it. So it's a lot of practice, it's a lot of going back and forth. And what you're doing with this is you're helping them understand what they actually need to attain. And you're helping them build up something that they've never had before, which is belief in themselves and being able to attain something that could have seemed unsurmountable. It could have seemed like, oh, this is going to be harder to attain. Man, I have to hit $45,000 for the year. I don't know how I'm going to hit it, and yada, 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 right? I don't know how I'm going to hit this week or that week. No, you break down the goals. So if your goal is, say, hitting 1,300 in commission, um, all right. So what does that look like on the commission pay plan? How many customers do I realistically need to do, right? Do I need to meet with, help purchase something and work through this, right? How many do I have to actually sell? And what I would walk through my employees with was very simple, is realistically, how many opportunities do you have when you have one customer in front of you? And in the wireless industry, we're talking about an activation. We're talking about potential upgrade, right? Buy one, get one type of situation. So you can do two upgrades, you can do two activations, you can do an activation upgrade. You got a tablet, you have a wearable, right? A watch. So that bumps you to, about four devices. You have most everybody's now doing some form of internet, right? Whether it's actual internet or it's like one of those mobile devices for home internet. So that's five. If you do TV services, right? That's six. Okay. Realistically, from one customer, you can have three to five. We're being realistic. We're not gonna say every single customer coming in is going to get every single item that's on the list, right? We know that's not realistic. We want to focus on being realistic with our teams when we're coming out and planning things out because we want them to work on their pitching. We want them to work on their sales. We want them to work on their flow from conversation to conversation, from pitch to pitch, from sentence to sentence. And you do it that way. You got to make them believe and you got to show them it's possible. So for one opportunity, you can get three to five opportunities, three to five sales. Okay. So what does it look like on the commission calculator? You can now break it down and you can enter in the data. And now we're, say the number would have been like 50 or 60 units. That goes from being 50 to 60 different individual units and them thinking, man, I got to go and find 50 to 60 different customers to sell within this period. That means I have to do two sales, whatever, right? Two different customers, two, three different customers in a period, blah, blah, blah. To I really need to slow down and maximize the time I have and have better conversations, ask better questions, get a better understanding of my customers' needs, what their life is about, what's important to them, and be able to offer solutions that they didn't know were available or that could actually work for them. And now you're talking about, oh, snap, they're jumping and they're working with more customers or less customers, but producing more, right? Now they're really pumping out those numbers, and what seemed to be far-fetched, what seemed to be like a really pie in the sky number for them, now becomes realistic. And this is something I would do with my team members where we were talking about doing 50, 60. I had a couple that would shoot for 70,000 as sales reps. And it wasn't like they weren't hitting it. No, they were hitting these numbers because they had a clear pathway to follow and they had a better understanding of their actual commission structure. And it also, for you as a leader, especially if you're at a district area regional director level, it makes those conversations easier when commission structures change because all they see is on paper. And then it's up to the field leaders to have those conversations individually, try to keep people from jumping ship, right? Because they're like, things aren't going to work out. I got to look for something different. Let me leave, blah, blah, blah. To no, now it's easier to have those conversations with people and show them, all right, we just need to ship this and we're still on pace. And we can actually be making more doing what we were doing just by shifting a couple of focuses. Those conversations become that much easier because now you can actually show them when you update that calculator real time what that looks like. And your store managers are able to use that as well when it comes to, their one-on-ones, their coaching sessions to have better conversations with your teams. It's as simple as that. But this is where you need to make sure that your teams understand their commission structure, not know the commission pay plan. And that's the difference between those two. Understanding is different than knowing. because one helps create a pathway, a framework for them to really get after, and another one is more abstract and it's harder for them to really piece things together. So that's really what I want to talk about today. It's been on my mind for a while. It's a conversation I've had over and over with different people. Uh, so let me know what you guys think on that. What are some of the things that you do to help your team understand their pay, understand their commission structure, right? What's a realization that you guys had as far as your team not really understanding? They knew the pay structure, but they didn't understand it. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll catch you on the next one.